Okay, so I've done a little bit of a drawing on the tan paper that I taped onto the surface of the sketch pad in washi tape. It's got a bit of a floral look to it. This is something that you would call a Zentangle, but I sketched it out in pencil, and now I'm going to go over it with some walnut ink and some black India ink. So I'm going to take the nib that I have. I ordered this from the library, and you can do that too. And just make sure that you only dip like a third of the tip into the walnut ink, and then you can start decorating it. And what I'm doing here is adding stipples, and stipples are just little dots that are concentrated in certain areas. The more the dots are concentrated, the darker the value. The further apart they are, the lighter in value the object becomes or the area becomes. So I'm going to continue to stipple in the little dotted areas, and now I'm going to do some hatch marks. Hatch marks are lines that go in the same direction. It doesn't matter if they're vertical, diagonal, or horizontal, as long as all the lines are going in the same direction. And this adds, a level of value. So we're going from a light tan to a middle light valued tan. Here, I'm just filling in these little flourishes, and that's going to be a darker value because I'm not stippling or creating lines with spaces of paper in between them. I'm filling in the shapes in total, so they're going to be a darker value. So what we want is a variety of different values, light, medium, and dark. So you can see the places that I filled in with the walnut ink is kind of a middle value. And now I'm going to take my Sharpie, which is a black ink, and I'm going to create some outlines just to emphasize the shapes and clean up a little bit of the walnut ink that has, maybe bled outside of the design. So it's not a perfect representation, but you need to think about your artwork as an evolution. It's not going to be perfect everywhere, and you need to problem solve that somehow. So because the walnut ink bled a little bit outside of where I wanted it, I'm using the Sharpie pen, which I have more control over, to clean it up and then emphasize the design. So movie magic here. We've moved forward, and now I'm going to add some weight to the lines. So if you take a look, all the lines are the same thickness. And now I just added like thicker lines and added more cross or hatching and cross hatching. So if you add cross hatching where you crisscross the lines, that makes the values darker, and it gives you what would be considered as a visual texture where it is perceived as being rough. But it's a good way to add emphasis to an area. You want people to take a look at your artwork and kind of move through your artwork. And you as the artist gets to decide how they do that. So for me, I am putting a lot of texture and light and dark value contrast on the left. So when you look at the whole design, your eye starts on the left and then gradually moves to the upper right-hand corner. So that, as an artist, is your job, is to direct the viewer's eye in a very intentional way by your artistic choices. So you can see that movement going from left to right and from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. And then when you're done, that's your sketchbook. Again, you don't have to go with the ink and this specific design with washi tape. You can decorate and design your sketchbook any way that you want, but this is an option.